We all know the feeling when the power goes out. Everything comes to a stop. But for some families, it's more than just an inconvenience. It's critical to their health and safety, powering essentials like oxygen machines, refrigerated medications, heating and air, and even well or sump pumps. That's why having a reliable backup plan at home can make all the difference. Today, we're joined by Gresco's Assistant Director of Solar and EV, Brandon Hilliard, along with two special guests, Chipper Jones, Manager of Member Relations at Middle Georgia EMC, and Jeremy Engelberg, VP of Sales at Global Power Products. We're going to walk through generator basics, what installation looks like, key safety tips, and how solutions like GeneraLink and the Gresco Generator Program can help homeowners stay prepared. I know we've got a lot to cover, so let's dive in. A lot of people hear home generator, but may not fully know what that means. Can you kind of break it down for us?
Yes, there are two types of generators. You have a whole home system that is designed to run your entire house, including your air conditioner, including your well pump, including hot water heaters, and then you have a portable generator that is designed to run specific things within the home, such as lights, refrigeration. It just really depends on what the member or the customer is looking for.
From your experience, any of you, what are the most common situations or needs that lead homeowners to invest in a generator?
We mainly see peace of mind, medical issues, CPAP, anything related to comfort is the main deciding factor that we hear from our customers. Chipper, you may have a different opinion there.
Well, it's kind of the same thing. Our members, we're a small rural co-op, so our members, we see it. People want to make sure their well pump, they're able to have water is a big deal. A lot of times in cities, they may not have electricity, but they still have water. And that's a big one for our members. We have a lot of people with livestock, being able to be able to have water for their livestock during a power outage. And then we're in a society now where, people don't want to be without electricity, we have a really good fiber to the home internet program now, and they don't want to be without internet. We have to see people putting in generators just so they'll have access to the internet during an extended outage.
Yeah, and to lean back into the internet, how many people work from home now?
Oh, yeah, that's the other big thing. People working remotely. We hear that a lot.
And I'd say at Global Power Products, we see a lot more activity right before and right after a storm. So it's really when that homeowner is experiencing a lot of the pain points.
So what does the installation process actually look like for a whole home generator system?
So I'll go over what it looks like from Gresco's perspective. If you're looking for, of course, Gresco has a whole home generator program. We have 2 outside sales reps. If there's a member that's interested in a whole home generator, they can reach out to Gresco. Call Gresco. We'll set up an appointment. We'll send out a site survey technician. He'll give you a free site survey. We'll get you a quote. After you accept the quote, we will start the permitting process. We'll start the inspection process, and we'll go ahead and line up the power company. Gresco has an install crew in-house, so we handle everything from the sale to the installation to the sales and the service. And then we also have the very first generator program that Gresco started was with Middle Georgia EMC.
As a homeowner myself, what are some things I should be looking out for when I'm looking for a reputable installer or dealer to put in a generator?
Well, I think the first off, having, licensed electricians be a part of that team. I think the biggest thing for us is when we did this, we had some local people that were doing some generator installs, and we met with some of those. But they didn't want to do warranty work, or they said, we're not going to work on engines or motors. That's not what we want. We just want to put them in. Yep. And when we did this, we wanted to be partnered with somebody that was a one-stop shop. They could do the install, they could do the warranty work, they could do the preventative maintenance, they could work on if it was a rotor and stator that needed replacing, a starter, a control panel, or even the engine in the generator. We wanted to deal with somebody that could handle it all, so we weren't having to deal with multiple people. Mm-hmm. I think it's important that your installer be certified Generac technicians, because that leads to other issues when they're not. Because, licensed electricians are great. They serve a purpose, and not to say many of them can do this and do it right. But there's a lot of things, people that don't install generators every day, that they may not understand. Brandon and his team, that's what they do, is generators. So they know every aspect of it.
That makes sense. So when a generator is installed, how do homeowners typically fuel it and maintain it? What does that process look like?
So it definitely depends on location If you are more rural, like Chipper, I would say 90% of his members run propane and the other 10% run diesel. If you're in the city where there's natural gas that's supplied to you, that's the most effective option in that situation. So you're looking at LP propane rural. If you live in the city limits, or you have a utility that provides natural gas, and then you also have diesel.
I think that kind of goes back, I want to add to that, to the reputable part is with not only your generator installer, but who your gas company is that you're working with is a big deal, because Gresco can come and do the install, but the gas work we have to get, someone else to do. And
Does Gresco offer, and Chipper, I think you mentioned this a little bit earlier, but can you talk about like what Gresco may offer in terms of maintenance or service programs to help homeowners keep their systems in working order year round?
We offer two different types of preventative maintenance. It's a one-time PMA, and then it's a two-time PMA where we come out twice and inspect the unit, change the oil filter, change the oil, change the air filter, wipe it down inside and out, do a couple test transfers. We offer that to every single member. We do have a little bit of a special PMA that applies to Middle Georgia EMC that we put into place 6 or 8 months ago, if you want to go over that, Chipper.
yeah, we got work with Gresco, and we put that one-time PMA into every quote that we do for every generator that's sold on our system. We wanted that built in, and the main reason why is that generator comes from the factory with break-in oil in it, and after I think it's 20 hours or I think that's the run time. After 20 hours of run time or 6 months, whichever comes first, they recommend getting that break-in oil out and changing it. And so we just wanted to make sure that was getting done. And so we just built that into our quotes at Middle Georgia, just for that way the members protect, because those are things that can void the warranty if they're not done, in a timely manner. So we built that in, and usually that leads to them continuing that PMA, because you're going to make a huge investment, especially with a home standby generator. $12,000, $14,000, $15,000. You want to make sure it's, you want it to run when you need it to run.
That's right.
And if it's just like any engine, if you let it sit out there for 6 months, a year, and you don't check the oil in it, it doesn't crank or whatever, you get a little aggravated when it don't. But this way we make sure it's in good working order, and the PMAs are great. Brandon and them take care of our members. Usually it doesn't matter if they have when they have an issue, they're there to take care of it. So that's something that we really like at Middle Georgia.
An outage happens. Can you kind of walk us through the safety guidelines people might need to know about when operating a generator during a power outage?
So as far as the whole home standby generator, they're of course a little bit more expensive, but as far as the safety goes, a whole home generator, when you lose power, is designed to be self-sufficient, where you don't have to do anything whatsoever. It's going to crank within 12 seconds. It's going to transfer. It's going to power the home until power is restored, and then we'll transfer back to utility. When you get into portables is where I see, you really need to look into more safety guidelines. We've got, for the homeowner themselves, you've got carbon monoxide. You've got the unit is smoking hot. After a couple of hours of runtime, it can be 1,000 degrees where the muffler is. You kind of don't need your kids or your pets running around that. And then also fuel. The gasoline has fumes. You need to keep those a little bit separate. You don't want to put the fuel close to the unit and it create a spark, and then of course that creates a bomb. So those are what I see on the homeowners end. I know that the co-op also has a totally different set of safety guidelines because they're looking out for their linemen. And Chipper, I know we discussed this a little bit earlier.
Yeah, well, I think one thing, the beauty, if you're going to make the investment on a home standby generator, there's some safety things that are built in during that whole process with code that's going to require you to put it 5 foot from any vent and window on the home and 10 foot from the gas tank. So most of the safety concerns for the home standby are handled in the install process. Plus, it's an auto transfer switch. It's done correctly. But with the GeneraLink device, now it's safe. It's and I'll let you talk more about it, but it's a in the meter based transfer switch that protects. It doesn't let that load transfer back out on the line. It's safe for the member. They're not going there trying to backfeed their panel through the dryer plug or the stove plug, and it alleviates a lot of those safety concerns from that aspect of it. And then just to talk a little bit about Brandon, what you see a lot of times with portables, people putting them in their carports and wanting to send them in their laundry room or whatever. That's just not, that's just not safe to do. And that's some of the things we see, but you can alleviate that with some of these, with the device. Jeremy, I think your product.
No,
That's
it's
great.
very, very well put. As Brandon was kind of describing, some of the safety concerns with portable generators. To me, at a very high level, the two key things are, the setup of the GenerLink comes with a 20-foot cord, allows the homeowner to keep that away from the home, away from open windows, or in a secure, safe spot. But really, what was paramount to me was, how is that homeowner actually hooking up that generator, for years? And there's a lot of people out there that, would be able to safely, hook up a generator through their own means. But for the mass of the population, the GenerLink provides a very safe way for homeowners to connect portable power to their home and prevent backfeeding. So from a line worker's safety vantage point, they're completely protected against backfeeding.
So we've talked about a bunch of different options that homeowners can choose from. So what would you say is the best first step to take for someone who's considering having a home standby generator?
We would urge you to reach out. We've got a phone line that goes to a whole home. We have a whole home option. We have a GenerLink option, and then of course we have a service line option. And you can click that that prompt, and it'll take you to exactly who you need to talk to. As far as sizing goes, if you're looking for a whole home, we can get pretty close to sizing over the phone. If you're looking for a GenerLink, we can get you with Nathan Hayes that runs our GenerLink program, and he can answer any question as far as size goes there. So we would urge you to reach out to Gresco Direct. We could answer all those questions.
So since we talked about GenerLink being such a great solution for homeowners, can you kind of walk us through the different products GenerLink offers, how they work, more information on the products?
Yeah, the GenerLink is a very simple device. It's a UL-listed meter socket mounted transfer switch, so it sits behind your electric meter and in your meter socket. Essentially, when the power goes out, a homeowner brings a portable generator out, plugs it in with the provided cord that comes with the GenerLink, and once powering on, the GenerLink technically is a meter socket mounted transfer switch. So automatic transfer switch, that is. So when it senses portable generator power, disconnects from the grid, will feed power to the home's panel, and it'll continue to do so until the generator is powered down. Once powered down, it'll switch back over to grid power, and the homeowner just unplugs the GenerLock cable, puts the generator away, and they're on their way.
Can you talk about the accessibility for homeowners for the GenerLink products? How easy is it to get a GenerLink product? How easy is it to get it installed? What concerns would homeowners have, if any?
Absolutely. There is quite a bit of inventory here at Gresco, so it's as simple as making a phone call to the Gresco team or visiting their website. They carry the GenerLink comes in both a 30 amp or 40 amp configuration with or without surge protection. All of them in stock right here. So Brandon and team, along with Nathan, can help homeowner choose the correct size product and have it out to them within a matter of days, maybe a week.
Yeah, just a couple of days. So you can place that order over the phone here at Gresco through our Renewables Team, or you can also go to our e-commerce page and purchase that direct offline.
Yeah, so the one thing to point out is it's easy to get the product in hand. Brandon and team can also assist with connecting with utilities to schedule a meter pull if a licensed electrician is needed to complete the install. I'm sure they can assist there. A lot of times our utility partners will just do the install for the homeowner with or without a fee. So, to me, it's a simple process. It's a matter of, do I need 30 amp or 40 amp? Do I want the surge protection? And then, who's going to get it installed for me? I always recommend, the weather's beautiful today, so what better time to have a GenerLink installed? Because once that storm comes and restoration efforts are underway, it may be, weeks, if not months, before you can get that backup power solution installed.
Jeremy, could you kind of touch on, for people who may not know, the benefit of why someone would want a 40 amp versus a 30, or maybe vice versa?
Yeah, it all depends on what you're looking to power. So, I think one unique point to the GenerLink is it has a strong ROI compared to other types of backup power solutions, in that I'd say once a licensed electrician or utility has installed 1, 2, or 3, that installation process shouldn't take much more than 5 minutes. There's no need to enter the home, so it's a very simple solution. When you're talking about a 30 amp versus 40 amp, we used to think that maybe the entry point for the 30 amp made it a little more appealing, but it's interesting. I'd say if you went back 2 or 3 years ago, 70% of our sales were in the 30 amp configuration. It's now a clean 50-50. And I think a lot of that is electrification of everything. Cars, new products, appliances in the home, legislation driving more electrification of things, not just here in Georgia, but all across the U.S. So the 40 amp is much more desirable. And if anything, it just kind of future-proofs the home. So whether or not there's a need for, let's say, 9,600 running watts of power, I think in most home scenarios, especially with the price of a 10,000 watt generator right now kind of leveling off, it just makes sense. Being able to make sure that you can keep your freezer running and your refrigerator and your sump pump if you have one, or a well pump if needed, along with some of the other conveniences. I mean, maybe you can run an AC, if you had a soft start on it and, it wasn't too much of a load. But again, the 40 amp configuration gives you a whole wide range of things that you can power. But for some people, 30 amps might be just enough, so why not pocket that money and put more stuff in the freezer, whatever it might be.
Well, thanks everyone for joining us today as we learn a little bit about helpful tools to keep our communities powered.
And to our listeners, if you're ready to secure backup power for your home, contact our Gresco team today to get started at 478-315-0817, or emailing us at renewables@gresco.com, or visiting our website at gresco.com. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.